Okay, welcome to Rock Painting Workshops today, and we are going to create a cute little frog on a rock. And this one I've already done the drawing, but you can see the shapes I've used are mostly circular shapes, like little circles on the toes and the fingers, and for his body and head and eyes. So it's a pretty easy one to sketch out, this one. So let's get started. And we just want to pop a thin layer of paint onto the rock. You know, there's a really big trick to painting rocks when you want to record your video, and that is don't eat caramel popcorn just before you're about to record, okay? Because now it's all stuck in my teeth and I really just need to stop and drink a cup of tea, but I can't. So whatever comes out of my mouth is just caramel popcorn's the problem, okay? Alright, so back to the point of the frog on the rock. You want to colour in, oh you know what, I just want to put some background colour. I'm a little bit over the place, just testing that coral colour, because as I was colouring I could just see I wanted a little bit of a splash of colour. So I'm just going to scribble in my rock and I'm going to quickly spread it while it's still wet. So I'm not creating a big solid colour of background. I'm just going to have some watercolour smushes around the edges. Don't worry if it gets on your frog, because it's really easy to layer up the paint colours. Okay, so let us go back to colouring in. So the base colour that I'm using is a light green, and I'm just going to keep colouring in my frog. And you can see I'm doing one thin layer, okay? I'm letting the rock take on the colour as the base coat. I don't like to put anything on my rocks, especially these ones. They just absorb the colour so beautifully. And I only need 2 layers of colour, so I'm not losing anything by not using a base coat. I'm just letting the first layer of acrylic paint have a relationship with the rock so it stays together. Now, another trick to painting rocks when you do have caramel popcorn is make sure you hide it before you start painting your rock, because now I am very invested into painting the green on this frog, but the caramel popcorn is just off to the top right of your screen and I can see it, and I actually want some more. Maybe we have to call the frog caramel or something. Okay, just colour in around those eyes. I've just gone over things like his mouth, but I've left the spots on his body free and the white on his eyes. What I'm going to do is just run a... Have you met Bert yet? I don't know if you guys have met Bert, but he's my pet rock, my painting rock, and I do everything on Bert. I've had him, he's probably 1.5 years old now, and he's always on my desk. I test my colours on him, get my pens working, do all sorts of stuff, and I'm just raising that rock towards me, and I'm going to go around the outline of the eyes because I want to colour them in white. And I just want the edge that touches the white to be nice and smooth. So I always do the black first because you can thin it out. See how it's gone a bit thick and uneven? Don't worry about that. The white paint will thin that right down. So you can see I just tested the pen on Bert then. Make sure it was working okay. The nibs were clean. So I won't put my pen down on the rock that I'm creating if I haven't tested the rock for that day. So Bert just gets a whole heap of colour put on him. If I open the pen, like I shake it every day before I'm using it. I do paint a lot of rocks every day, but I give it a shake like that. So that's what I do if it's not quite working properly. And I forgot to tell you, I'm actually doing the second layer of colour now. So you can say, hang on, you did all that. Because the first layer was dry, I'm just running over a quick second layer of colour. But yeah, it's the first thing I do with my pen every day is I give it a shake so it's ready for the day, and I just give it a bit of a squiggle on Bert, make sure that it's working, that it's not about to do like a pen vomit all over my rock. A lot of people are just taking their pens straight onto the rock. So if they leak or bleed or anything else because you've got a blocked tip, it does it all over your good rock. As you can see, whenever that happens to me, it just goes straight all over Bert. Okay, so I'm just going to why do I use the words I use? I'm just going to use a bit of white and colour the inside of the eyes. If I want to thin down the black, I just take the white and slightly go over the black as well. And I'm just going to colour all that in. And this white pen is not quite as clean as I would like it, but I'll keep going as far as I can. Okay, so I'm giving it a good squiggle. I'll start going over some of the black there. Okay. Yeah, this white pen needs a clean. That's okay. I'll just keep going with that first layer with this pen, and I'll either give it a quick clean or I'll swap it out for another paint pen. Give it a squiggle on Bert. No. Okay. Out she goes. You know, isn't it the way you can paint rocks all day, nothing goes wrong. As soon as you put the video camera on, it's like, oh yeah, my white paint pen's not working, yay me. So just put that coral on his spots, body spots. Yeah, I love the coral and the green together. It's really pretty. Okay, give it another go. It's like you can't learn your lesson the first time. Give it a dip of water. See if I can get it flowing. Scribble, scribble. Sorry, Bert, but you do love a little bit of colour. I just don't learn, okay? Pen's gonna need a soak. And I've picked up my 1M, so I'm using another white pen now. The thing is with the white pen I was just using, because I tried to colour it in too thick too fast, this is what I tell everyone, don't do this. But I just did it. Instead of a nice thin layer of white, I just went too thick, too quick, gave it a slight block. So I'm just going to put that in for a soak when I finish this rock. And I'll clean that nib right back up to perfect for the next video. I nearly did the outlines, but let's get on to some shading. Okay, so I've got my clean water, I've got my microfiber, I've got my paintbrush, and now I'm just going to add some colour in there. Okay, a little bit too much green on my brush, so I just washed it out, wiped it away. And again, same problem, a little bit too much. I can just tell that there was going to be too much paint for it to spread around. So you're just putting the darker colour where the shadows might go. Like now I'm doing underneath his head, so the head would throw a little bit of shadow onto the body. So I'm just going to shade that around, blend it in. Okay, that's good. Let the brush a bit more, pick up some paint, and some more shadow will pick up like around under his eyes area. So they'll cast shadow onto that area of his head. So I'm just taking that bit of green just to create that little bit of depth, that little bit of shadow. Take it dark in there, get rid of the paint, and just blend those edges. Yeah, that's good. Okay, come in right around close there. And let's just blend those edges. I put the pen straight on the rock, especially when I want to make sure it just stays dark right into where the actual join is, so where the eyes touch the head. I want to make sure that's darker than where I've shaded it out. So there's your shading. And just adding because I did a nice thin layer of white once I learnt my lesson, I'm just going in with that second thin layer of white. Okay, so moral of the frog story, of the frog rock, is to listen to what I tell you, and that is nice thin layers of your paint, okay? Because that is exactly what I did wrong. I just wanted to rush through the video and I just did too much white paint at once. And the pen's like, oh no, not today. Okay, so now I've just grabbed my fine liner in black and I'm just going to create all the permanent lines now, all the finishing lines. Just do his fat underbelly there, up to the head. Just making it a little bit darker underneath, because again that's where the shadow would be, right? It will go darker underneath where the fat belly is, and on the leg there where it's sort of joined. Let's go out and go a bit thicker there. So you don't have to do this. I like doing this on my rock. Saves a lot of other sort of finer details. I just do some thicker areas in black just to cast that shadow area quite well. Put in his little fingers. What do frogs have? What they call that? The webbing or the padding or something? I don't know. Let's just go along with it and just say like frog fingers, because I have no idea what it's called, but you know exactly what I'm doing, right? You're going to learn all sorts of new words with me. You just got to stick around long enough. I have a special language all of my own. And that is now official. Frogs have fingers. Okay, drawing those little spots. You know, I just saw this little photo on clip art. I nearly didn't do him. I was nearly just going to do him on this little tiny, I've got little tiny drop rocks. I was nearly just going to pop the frog on that, and I've been putting it off all week. And as I sort of grabbed this rock, which is a little bit bigger, I just realized the frog just wanted to be larger than life. He didn't want to be on that little tiny rock. And I suppose it reminds me of the green tree frog that we've got out on the back patio. And he's just hanging around and he is bigger than life. He's so fat. And trust me, really noisy when it's raining and he's in the drain pipe. Oh my goodness. There is no sleep those nights. There's Poppy's eyes in there. Big googly eyes. They don't match in size on purpose. Even though I'm very known for not getting things equal. I was trying to make him like a bit of a wobbly frog. And so the eyes are that way on purpose. I'm just adding some extra black in for the shadowing. Just creating that dark look. This kind of thing drives the people crazy that like to get like perfect colors in line and perfect shading. They can't do this bit. So if it's just totally not resonating with you, do your nice clean lines. It's just the way I create art. This is exactly how I do it. I'll just do like messy everything because it just all pulls together and it's just so my personality. But everyone's style is just slightly different. I'll just grab the white pen. Oh, you know what I did? I grabbed the white pen that didn't work. The one that I just put aside for a soak. Clever me. Okay, white pen happening. We're throwing in some highlights. Again, I'm not throwing the paint. Okay, we're painting in some little white dots and dashes just to create some light where the light's hitting on top of our frog. And just put them where you think the light hits. Hang on, in the eyes as well. Just get that a bit whiter. I just said the whites before and I didn't even do it. Put the whites of the eyes in. He's really come alive with the black and white at the end. Just put a little heart there because I think he's pretty cute. I do love him. Okay, so that's it. Let's get creating some of your own frogs. Use the colours that you like. Pop on over to our Facebook page at Reef Rocks Free Workshops, and can't wait to see your frog rocks.